Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Marvel Rivals Ignite qualifying cast. I am, as usual, Tetcher, and we're doing single matches for the moment because hay fever started and I have the lovely thing known as asthma, which reacts with allergies to make it so that I get a little bit sick. So to protect my voice for Ignite, but still make content for y'all, we're going to do single matches for the time being. I've also got another plan, so stay tuned for that. That should be tomorrow or the day after, we'll see. But let's get into our game today. We are going to have the game of EXOD1A versus Insomnia. That is our match for today. We are heading on into Yggdrasil Path for our first matchup of the day. Let's head on in. Insomnia starting on the left. EXOD1A will be on the right. This is a qualifying game. Winner moves on to Marvel Rivals Ignite. Loser will make their way down to the lower bracket to have one last fight. Their matchup would be against Schmungus to fight for their spot in the Marvel Rivals Championship. Spoilers for previous videos, my bad there, but that video did come out almost 2 weeks ago now. So between EXOD1A and Insomnia, one of these teams will be qualified for Marvel Rivals Ignite, the other will have to fight their way through Schmungus to try and get there. That video will of course be up at some point. Loki and Magneto will be the starting bands. Now, I will be honest, these are the two teams in the Marvel Rivals Ignite that I know the least about, I would say. I don't really recognize a lot of the players. They have yet to come across my desk too often, except for Seijiro, I believe. So already getting this far is extremely impressive as Adam Warlock gets taken out. Wolverine taken away with Groot protected, removing the counter. Insomnia doubling down on EXOD1A's protection here. As we're looking at Hela for the protection. This, of course, sets them up for a little bit of counter flyers. We are post-patch, so of course we do have the Ultron available. Storm-Jeff combo has yet to be touched by either team. Doctor Strange will be protected. Very solid front line right now. Emma Frost, Doctor Strange, and Groot all left up. But we will see the Hulk taken away, reducing that the more power buff. And also the fact that Hulk can be very disruptive to flyers. Insomnia. With the last bad of the first game, they're going to take away the Punisher. They are hyper committed. Insomnia very much looking to bring out the Groot here. Or not? Banning basically every Groot counter. The Punisher, the Wolverine. The only thing that's really left is the Winter Soldier. And yet Insomnia are still not going to run the Groot themselves. That is very interesting. EXOD1A were thinking about running the Ultron. There we go. We will see the Winter Soldier at least. There is of course a chance that Insomnia may swap their draft around on the way out the door. But right now, they just seem to be Grootless. In fact, both teams, despite all the bads against it, all of those characters removed. There it is. Okay, I was about to say, I would have been shocked. It's possible, of course. Groot is not the be-all, end-all, but you just removed almost every single Groot counter except for the Winter Soldier, and you don't want to pick it? Would be crazy. EXOD1A are going a little bit more aggressive currently, but we'll see how many of these actually make it out of the spawn as Black Panther is being hovered. Let's introduce our players. We've actually not covered these teams much, if at all. On the left in the blue trunks is Insomnia with Forever 774 on the Groot. Damon will be playing the Hawkeye. Doctor on Winter Soldier. Seijiro is on the Invisible Woman. Relaxing Nights is playing the Lunar Snow. And Passivo is going to be on the Emma Frost. EXOD1A on attack, already on the flank. We have Fezzi. Fezzix? I think it's Fezzi X playing the Psylocke, trying to flank onto the back of Forever. Is taken down super quickly. Cairo will be on that Winter Soldier. TTV EG4K is playing the Doctor Strange. Toma on the Emma Frost. Tim CJ will be on the Invisible Woman. And I'm Beamer Boy. Will be on the Lunar Snow. As already a lot of momentum is coming in, forcing Insomnia to burn the portal very quickly to try and shut down at this first point. Forever forced to back away, getting focused down. Emma trying to push up, make some space here. It's going to be about Cairo here. The group completely abandoned to get that Strange onto the board as they're chasing them through. If Cairo can land the bionic hook, not even needed. It's going to be Passimo who's able to land the diamond form kick to knock back Strange and get the focus. Passimo will be the one to fall though, losing that Captain America. Hunter's sight to try and maximize damage output, but crack an impact to follow up on the psionic seduction. Damage output's good, but can they land a finishing blow? Yes, they can. Meaning Cairo does have a reset. Will do some damage, not enough for many more eliminations, but they were able to wipe everyone who was on the defense, clean out the objective, and will grab point number 1. Passimo sticking with this Captain America. And Forever moving on to the Emma Frost. Passimo on the flank, looking to do some damage. Goes for the Vibranian Energy Saw to do a little bit of damage onto the backline. Yiji has the Eye of Agamotto. Could go for a little bit of a dive here if need be, but right now he's just focusing on staying on the card and staying a little bit closer to their backline because Passimo is in there being annoying. It has to run away though, as they did get spotted and ate a lot of damage. Picks up a map heal. GG still drops a little bit lower. Down to the butterfly. Goes into the backline to try and take him out. Nocta with crack and impact. Takes out Gigi and finds the Psylocke on the rotation. After that, Dance of the Butterfly concludes. Takes out Cairo as they are chasing all the way back. Gets kicked by the diamond form, but they're just cleaning up. They've got another crack and impact, but they'd have to dive into Spawn to use it. So instead, they're just going to disengage. Don't want none of that. They'll be making their way up to the high ground. Tim. Just topping everyone up for the moment. Here comes Passimo again. Great energy saw a little bit of damage. A little bit of a poke onto the backline. A psionic seduction. Going to be coming out from Forever, who's dropped incredibly low. They're tagging through. Beamer keeping the team topped up with that fade of both worlds to keep everyone in this fight. Cleaning out Yiji, relaxing Knights, finds that elimination, and suddenly Insomnia are starting to get a little bit of momentum here. Quick dive onto the Luna, trying to find the isolation, trying to find the target, but they don't want to get too caught out of position. The zoning is good. If you force them off the point, then that's fine too. If you go down though, that's an opportunity for them to push on in. Fear asleep, diving strike, going to be used for the disengage. Yiji still has this Eye of Agamotto, been holding on to it essentially the whole time. Up to the high ground, trying to zone away Demon. Demon does have that Goddess of Death, which they will use, taking to the sky. Trying to maximize the damage output, but Invisible Boundary, and also we saw a Mind's Aegis there blocking a large chunk of that damage. Healing output a little bit too much to deal with. Relaxing Knights. Here comes the Eye of Agamotto, finally getting dropped here. But Yiji is getting focused down, comboed with the Psionic Seduction, though, will be enough as Cairo helps clean out the remaining members. That is going to be essentially a full team wipe with only Relaxing Knights staying up, but they are already backing away here. Being chased down by Fezzi. Trying to push up. Freedom charge at the ready. As they're going to make their way in right off the bat. Diving strike into the back line, holding on to Liberty Rush until they need it to try and chase down, which they will do to slow down the retreat of Cairo. Gets the pickup, and that will be EXOD1A this time. Wiped off the map as Insomnia get the counter with 1 minute and 10 seconds left. This is quite a close game so far. It's only round 1 of map number 1, although that was an absolute wipe there. Relaxing Knights taking out Fexy. Retreating into the defensive position, Toma has decided that it is time for the Groot again. Their first Groot, Sonic Seduction though, from the side. Lovely Groot walls to protect the rest of their team as they get pulled in, but they're able to eat the damage as they push on in. Ultimate charge starting to rise. Both ultimates will be used and they're almost perfectly chained here. Beamer overlapping by about half a second. Dance of the butterfly from Fexy into the backline, cleaning up here. And it looks like EXOD1A may be able to claim this point number 2 with 18 seconds remaining. Here comes Cap for another delay, but without that freedom charge, they are going to be taken down. Seijiro is here. They could try and delay this, but they've decided it's not worth it. They'd rather just be with their team. Retreating back, regroup, and they can try and defend point number 3 together. As EXOD1A keeps this push going and Insomnia forced back into a defensive position once again. Groot charged up, pulled in, that's the power of the Winter Soldier. Down goes Toma. Seijiro actually gets the pickup there. Kyra looking for a bionic hook of his own. Kraken impact round the corner, looks for the pickup, but the stun lock there takes Nocta and forces them off the point, but it's still able to take down Yiji for the reset. Beamer is also taken out. Demon landing the shots when needed, starting to work on those group walls. Sieging, zoning, using that Guardian barrier for that little bit of extra protection. Toma trying to find an opening. Straggling Prison in the right moment. Could be game winning, so they want to hold on to it here. Deep in there, Cairo gets absolutely bodied. Psionic Seduction immediately into the fate of both worlds from Relaxing Knights for the turnaround. Passivo dropped extremely low, but tagging on through as Toma's taken out once again. Yiji is gone and Fexy forced to use the Psychic Stealth to get out of there. 6 seconds left. Is there anything left? Toma to the Captain America is going to try and rush on in. Psionic Seduction holds them down, and the body blocks means that's going to be a hold at 2 points, 38 meters, 94 centimeters.
Time to switch things up, including which side you're on.
Sorry, I just opened up my phone for a second and a TikTok immediately started playing. Apparently I did not close that very well. Are we seeing any compositional adjustments? Seijiro, who was the strategist, is currently hovering a Spider-Man for the attack. Not entirely sure if that will make it out of spawn, considering that would mean they are currently solo strategist. We've seen weirder comps. EXOD1A on the defense, they will be bringing out the Groot. Keep the rolling with that. While Toma did not find the targets they wanted last round, and in fact they are going to swap off of that group, deciding against it. Iron Man makes an appearance. Iron Man, Winter Soldier, Doctor Strange, and we will see the Emma Frost here.
One raccoon skin hat.
The Iron Man could be a clutch pickup here, but Insomnia currently have triple duelist. 2 of which are almost all 3 actually, if you land those Spider-Man hits, are extremely good. I don't think we're going to see Spider-Man come in here. I think this is being hovered because it can see through that high ground. In fact, yes, we'll swap back to the Invisible Woman. So Cairo already a little bit countered with the Hella on the board. And even the Winter Soldier with that Tainted Voltage can knock them out of the air, but they're still going to try their best. Unibeam trying to focus down Passivo, force them away, protect their backline. Hella's on the flanks, little couple scouting autos. Sending in some good shots onto the backline. No one going down yet in this early fight. Maximizing damage out, and you can see Demon is trying to get onto Cairo. Not enough for the finishing blow, needs some healing. But Passimo is distracting. There's that Guardian barrier for a little bit of extra protection. And they take out Passimo as Yiji, though, goes down. The strategists were distracted with that Captain America dive. This is going to open up a big possibility for Insomnia to push on through. Yiji's going to portal in right away. But someone needs to be touching the point for that to be worth it. Bionic Hook actually delays. They might not have wanted to do that. The Strange Portal comes on in, bought that couple extra seconds from the Bionic Hook, which did take out Demon, but now they're going to try and contest the point. Fezzy, is the one who went down as Cairo. Firing it from the side, overtime with 3 meters left to go. Kraken impact. It was Repulse cannon into the backline. Takes out Relaxing Knight, melting with the Unibeam onto Nocta. And it looks like Exodia will hold on point 1 with 2 minutes to go. That Bionic Hook was so close. If they'd waited a split second longer, they might have been able to push on into point 1 already. And that portal might not have reached in time. Rotating up to the high ground, looking for anyone who steps out on the flank. Dropped low, Tainted Voltage, forced to go for quite the wraparound, which means their team is very much without them right now, as immediately Patamo is going to be diving into the backline to try and set them up. Toma is already down. There's no strategic ultimates available. Yuji has Eye of Agamotto, but they're just not going to get it off because they're completely stun-locked out. Kairo's taken off. Tim is in full retreat as point 1 is picked up by Insomnia. Patamo try to go for a little bit of a spawn camp, catch anyone who didn't teleport out here. Won't find any eliminations as Cairo rejoins the team. So they got a couple shots. Cap is in the back line, directly behind Cairo here. Could get a pretty big blow up if they wanted to, but they're a little busy on that Lunar Snow, getting some very heavy damage. Forced to use the Liberty Rush to get out of danger here as Relaxing Knights takes out Yiji. Here comes the Freedom Charge to try and rush the backline. Beautiful diving strike, but it's going to be an immediate snowball to try and delay, to try and buy time, an invisible boundary for that little bit of extra protection as Beamer is still waiting for that Fate of Both Worlds to come off cooldown. Demon in the sky is melting the defenders right now. Beamer does get that Fate of Both Worlds, but Eye of Agamotto going to be coming out perfectly timed to try and combo. Cleaning up here. Kyra takes down Relaxing Knights, and the team is going down. It looks like we're seeing Exodia hold one more time. Holding on that finish line. Trying to wrap around, trying to find Passimo. Can't just let them hang out here. Want to chase them down, want to show them, want to punish them. Don't want to get caught in the tight enclosed room with Cap though, as Iron Man. Not a situation that's conducive to good health. Using Unibeam to melt through the shield, an ability that is not deflected. Holding the line. Psionic Seduction for forever takes out Beamer, completely isolated the team, will even catch Strange, but they are taken down in the process. Is that going to be enough for the rest of Insomnia to push on in as Passimo is trying to body block? The Iron Man rushes on through. Vibranium Energy Sword bounces all the way to Cairo, and Passimo is on a tear right now. Gets Tim. Seijiro takes out Fezzy, and it looks like once that Emma goes down, this point number 2 is going to be taken, meaning this will be a point of distance. Using portals to close off the reinforcement routes, shutting down the entrances here. Very smart. Insomnia will secure that point number 2. 38 meters, 95 centimeters, which means that Exodia, they do have to step up because that finish line is all the way over there. As Yiji, getting zoned away, is down. Can anyone actually reach in time? Locked down, Diamond Form! That's going to be GG, using the Diamond Form to lock down the enemy Emma, preventing them from touching the point, and that will be game number 1, going over to Insomnia. Game 1 of this best of 3 goes to Somnia. Seijiro with MVP, well deserved. Had some really nice Guardian barriers. The invisible boundaries were on point here. Let's look at these statistics. Top KOs is going to be Damon with 32 here. Least amount of times getting taken out. Seijiro only going down twice. The top final hits. A tie, 2-way between Nocta and Cairo here. Cairo able to sneak in and get that tie. Was very much out damaged though, with 28k for Nocta being the highest, 26k for Damon being the second highest, 21k for Forever being the third highest, and then finally coming in at fourth highest damage is Cairo. Top damage blocked though very heavily in favor of Yiji, but they went down 11 times. As many times as they got KOs. A little bit one-sided here, but 55k is still almost 15k more than the next highest on the enemy team. Toma a little bit behind them though with 46k. And top healing, 40k for Beamer, 39 for Tim. Easily beating out the side of Insomnia with 28 and 24k respectively. The team that's losing is often going to be able to heal a little bit more, as they are taking a little bit more damage. That's game number 1. Let's get us set up for game number 2 here. My throat is tickling me. I'm very glad I only choose to do one game today. I do have one to do later, but I will have a break in between those. Okay, game 2. Looks like we are heading to Central Park as the second game in our best of 3. Will we see EXOD1A begin the comeback, or will Insomnia be able to close this out? We will have to wait and see by heading on in to game number 2. Insomnia on the left, starting on defense. EXOD1A on the right, starting on attack. Gonna see the Magneto as the initial ban. Loki also going to be taken away. Emma Frost on the protection. Did just save them that game, so very sensible to protect it here. Wolverine will this time be protected, not going to protect the Groot. Wolverine can also do some very good work onto Emma if you can land those shots before they go into diamond form. Can isolate them very effectively, as Adam Warlock will once again be taken away. Not wanting to deal with those revives, not wanting to deal with the Star-Lord. And of course, Star-Lord can be played without Adam, but it is a little rarer, as Groot will this time be banned away by Insomnia. Not wanting to deal with it at all, they've decided. Captain America will be protected once again. Passimo having some backline dive options, but they are currently hovering the magic here. Doctor Strange. Did some good work for both teams. We had some pretty clutch portals from both sides. And is, of course, still quite strong. Burst melee damage can be extremely effective with that Maelstrom of Madness. EXOD1A continue to take out the Bruce Banner here. Not wanting to deal with it. Has done a bit too much work this season. Buffs the Namor. Just a great diver to take out some flyers. It's a sensible removal here. Final ban of what might be the series. If Insomnia can take this game number 2, they remove the Psylocke. Was a little bit too annoying with those darts and the butterflies in the backline. They've decided against it. They just don't want to deal with it. And with Cap up, Passimo is considering the Thorn instead. Even with Captain America available. Seijiro was considering an Ultron there for a second. And there we go. Passimo back onto the Cap. And it looks like an almost exact replica of last draft here. with Hela being hovered, Winter Soldier, Invisible Woman. This is looking pretty similar. On the other side, EXOD1A opening up the draft here with that penny, with the team up next, which I have now been informed correctly and have actually read the patch notes properly, gives more armor than the rocket one alone. So while you'll end up with, if the rocket swaps off or the penny swaps off, 2 characters with no armor, you end up with more armor in the grand scheme of things, as Penny will of course give 50 armor compared to the 25 that would normally be given by rocket. Also, if Toma goes in there quickly, ooh, just too slow. If they'd grabbed that, they could have still got away with a little 25 armor. I feel like there could have been a bit more coordination on that, as Passimo is already in position to be irritating. Going around very quickly, has used the Liberty Rush to get out of danger. As they pushed up nice and quickly, Fez has decided that Hawkeye is the play, but that's going to be a Wolverine isolation, picking up Yiji, and that will be the first elimination of this game. Shots coming in onto the backline, keeping the pressure on. Beamer pinging away onto the backline. Cairo dropped low, forced a dash away, getting topped up here. Bringing out the Wolverine of their own. Looking for anyone to try and pick up any early pickups. They will head up to the high ground. Landed the hit, but it's not enough for the grab, as Passimo is continuing to be annoying. Demon still on that high ground looking for their own. Find Strange again! This time there will be a force pull to give them a little bit of extra time, and this will allow Yiji to back away a bit, and they may be able to try and contest as they turn their attention onto Demon, who's forced to back up. Passimo will fall as EXOD1A are starting to get some momentum. Demon falls, and it looks like EXOD1A will clear out the first part of the objective invisible boundary, will give them some opportunity to step onto that point and delay with that diamond form, especially with the psionic seduction, to try and lock them in the corner. Portal comes out for the reinforcements here. Damon on the Hawkeye through the portal, maximizing the damage output as best as they can, but they can't see anything. Invisible boundary shutting it down. But they will make their way onto the objective to make sure they can contest it as Yaya Wakamoto comes out from Yiji, but gets locked down. Diamond form and Insomnia are holding by the skin of their teeth, but they are holding. They've lost one more body on the board. It looks like they finally have to give up as their front line is wiped off the board. Not wanting to run back in and just get completely wiped and staggered, they choose to back away and go for a re-engage in a little bit as EXOD1A once again get a point on the board. Setting in the shots with that Hawkeye. Not who they were aiming for, but the damage is good onto Relaxing Knights. Forever backs up in that diamond form. No, there is a Lunar Snow here, so they do have the team up. Just pushing in for the moment. In the meantime, Passimo continuing to be an absolute nightmare with that Liberty Rush in the backline. Just being an incredible nuisance. Great Energy Saurus, they do almost get focused down here, and it looks like Insomnia. The distraction has worked, the charge is good, and they clean up this attack from EXOD1A. 3 minutes and 22 seconds remain.
Hostile forces incoming.
Cairo sticking on this Wolverine. Damon abandoned it for the Hela quite a bit ago, already charged on that Goddess of Death. Cairo dropped a little bit low, forced to back away. Because Damon hovering up on this building edge. Cairo's trying to get him, staying just out of range. They're forced to get out of here and head into that Goddess of Death with the psionic seduction to wipe the board here. This is going to be a massacre. That's a full team wipe. Completely aced there by the psionic seduction to group up the enemies immediately into the maximum blow up. Fezzy looking for Damon. Wants to maybe go for a little bit of a duel. Meantime, Passimo has retreated all the way back to point number 1. to already get behind the opponents. Onto Luna, gonna be the main target. As you saw, Psionic Seduction, diving the backline, causing issues, staying mobile. Being the distraction that the team needs as the fate of both worlds comes out from both sides. Doctor, crack and impact, finds Fezzy on the flank into the backline. Looking for that invisible woman who's able to jump out of there with that extra sustain, but Yiji with the Eye of Agamotto is not doing anything here. They burn the ult, but they're still going to get wiped with no one on the enemy team going down at all. Insomnia hold firm with 1 minute and 40 seconds remaining. Toma swaps to Cap. They're going to try and mirror.
I'll be ship-shape in no time. Stand down.
Up to the high ground. Not able to get onto Demon though. D will get onto Demon with Cairo. And Astral Flock not available. Finally finding the isolation they want. Now Fez, maximum damage output. Good pickup onto Seijiro, chasing him round the corner and immediately back to the point. 3 bodies on, maximum speed. Try and capture point number 2 before your opponents have a chance to regroup. Meanwhile, Passimo has wrapped around from behind again.
Only 60 seconds left.
Already taken 1 hit. You can see Wolverine is trying to zone him. Trying to chase him.
I like the code.
Green Energy Saw, good damage actually. And it will be Yiji who's taken down on this Emma Frost. Cat battle. Trying to rush onto Toma, who's trying to get out of danger here. Final stand came out from Cairo to pick up relaxing knives, but Demon is still doing insane work. Nocta with the crack and impacts, wiping the board as Insomnia will be able to hold once again. 26 seconds remaining. Rushing back to the points. Mine's Aegis for a little bit of protection, but you've got to actually touch the point, not to contest it. Looks like that will be Toma's job as they're going all the way around. 10 seconds remaining. They're going to be the ones to touch the point, activate that overtime, and give their team a chance to go in for a counter. The point has been touched. Emma already going in for the setup as Damon takes to the sky, as does Fezzy. Goddess of Deaths trading hits. It's gonna be Demon who takes the pick here. Still in the sky, will finally get dropped down, but has a lovely angle to try and flank behind the members of Exodia here as the fate of both worlds is about to expire. They're 2 members down. It's 2-0 currently. About to be 3 as Beamer is cleaned out. Yiji is cleaned up, and Toma is picked off the board. Portal is coming out, but it won't make it in time. That will be a hold by Insomnia. Exodia 1.101 meters, 84 centimeters.
Time to switch things up, including which
And it comes down to this. If Insomnia can push further than that, then they will be your next team in Marvel Rivals Ignite. If they can't, then we're heading to a game number 3, and Exodia's hopes will stay alive without having to fight through that lower bracket against Schmungus. No pressure at all. There's a thing being hovered here by Passimo. Very interesting. As Exodia are taking to the sky. Iron Man making their way in. Triple strategist. They're going to roll out with it as they are hovering the Ultron. Visible woman. And here it is. This is a great setup in terms of the backline. Using Ultron essentially as a second duelist that also does some healing. Therefore, Luna Snow and Invisible Woman, 2 of the best healers for when you have flyers, because you can Snowflake one and the Guardian Barrier the other.
4, 3, 2.
Demon starting on Wolverine, gonna get thrown on in by the looks of it.
Got it?
Sent around the building. Whoa! They finally didn't even use the jump pack there, but that wasn't as much of a toss as it was a guided missile. Not able to get the elimination, but they certainly gave themselves some room. They're going to turn back round, though, as Toma is on the Captain America in the backline, getting focused down, will get cleaned out. Doctor gets the elimination.
I suppose that helped.
Fezzy pinging away. creating openings, getting rushed down as once again, this time with the jetpack. They're trying to push him in. It will be Nocta picking off Cairo as Beamer Boy goes down as well. Fezzy goes down, and Insomnia are cleaning up here, looking at point number 1 so quickly here. No one's stopping to Strange, meaning that this point may have just been abandoned. Wolverine keeps Emma off the point, cleans them up. It's now just about capped. Portal comes out, but it's too late. The swap was too slow. Damon is very far away from their team right now, but they successfully did a little bit of damage, zoned everyone off the point as Fezzy, will bring out the magic. A little bit more aggressive here. Try and dive the backline. There's that finish line. It comes out to distance. 31 meters so far have been achieved by Insomnia. Over a third of the way there towards Exodia's finish line. Magic gets wiped by Demon. Soul Stifled. Couple shots to the head. Demon going to be wrapping around. Going on to the flank. Kraken Impact available for Nocta. Currently, the only ultimate that is available. Going into the backline. Trying to find that isolation onto Cairo, but holding on to that Kraken Impact. Visible boundary will come out. Diamond form. Nocta not going to get stun locked here. Into the backline to take out the Luna before anything can capitalize. And the resets are strong. Takes out the Emma to prevent the Psionic Seduction. Cap is absolutely capped, as that is the finish line. Pushing on in. No one is there to stop it, as Insomnia are in a waking dream, as they cleanly pick that up, and they will take the 2-0 in this series and will be moving on to Marvel Rivals Ignite. Nicely done, Nocta. Gets the MVP there, as Insomnia take the 2-0, meaning Exodia have to go down to that lower bracket to fight their way through Schmungus. That game will be coming up in a few days. But before that, let's look at the statistics of this game. 32 KOs by Forever. But final hits easily going over to Nocta with 17. Almost exactly double the eliminations from the side of Exodia, who got exactly 9. Nocta 1 off, doubling the entire enemy team worth of final hits. Least amount of times getting taken out, also Forever. Doing some insane work. Most KOs, least amount of times getting taken out, doing some great work. Top damage is, of course, going to be Nocta once again. Just stacking all the numbers for themselves. With 20k just behind them, Forever once again with 16k. Demon spent a little bit of time on Wolverine. You'll see the damage a little bit lesser in that case, as he spent a lot of time flanking, looking for angles with 13k damage this time, but it's still more than anyone on the side of Exodia. Still cleaning up there. Damage blocked. 30k for Yiji. Getting taken out 9 times, though. Similar situation to last time. 24k for Toma. 25k for Forever. Doing some great work after only getting taken out 1 time. Getting the second highest tanking in the game. And top healing will be the 27k of Beamer. Did get taken out 9 times, though. Tied highest in the game. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for today's game. I'm going to go rest my voice before I do my next cast tonight. I hope you've all enjoyed today's video. I didn't shout out the members. Let's do that now. Shout out to, you can support the channel by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, ringing that bell so you can see when those videos do go live. Help me build that subscriber. When we hit 5,000 subs, I'd love to get 10,000. That would be great. Let's set a more realistic goal, though. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think I should do. Let's say 6,000 subs. Let's keep it reasonable, and then we can build up from there. We'll see what happens. So leave a suggestion of what I can do at that number. You can also support the channel by hitting that thanks button and sending a one-time donation. Or if you want videos early, special messages on the odd occasion. If I do offline events, then the members will be getting some behind-the-scenes content, so that could be available for them. Only the members would see the behind-the-scenes content. I will not be putting that public. And, of course, if you want these videos extra, like these early videos, like I say, then you can get your name shouted out in every video, assuming I remember, because I very nearly did it just then. Just like these people. Dub Alt, Lucas Tyson, Arso, Doki Poki, and John. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. And I hope the rest of you will join them at some point. Be sure to tune in, when's this video going live? Thursday. Be sure to tune in to Marvel Rivals Ignite. It should be happening right now. I don't think I'm on the Thursday games, but you can still absolutely jump on in and say hello, because I think my first game is on Friday. But still, support the channel, jump on in root for your favourite teams. Hopefully I've shown you, like, the teams so that you can, like, see who you like and see whose playstyle you enjoy. Fingers crossed. I hope you like it. I want this esports to succeed a lot because I'm in it now, and also I just really enjoy it. For now, though, I have been Tetcher. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all tomorrow.